Speaking of quarterbacks,
How you feel about him? Would you place this guy top 5 in your top 5? Is he in your top 5?
I mean, at the rate at which he's going, I would say, yeah, I got him in the top 5. Seeing somebody do what he's done within 5 years now, 4 years, 5 years,
three appearances.
right? I mean, I don't know
already.
How I guess somebody could argue it. Obviously, we talk about it, so we can bait it. But I would definitely put him in my top 5, probably 4 or third, 4 or third. So I got definitely Brady, Joe, for sure ahead of him right now. But yeah, he's after that somewhere.
Okay, you keep going, because I'm waiting for you to slip up. Keep going, E. Keep going.
Slip on what?
He just waiting to debate. He's just waiting to get you.
Go
give
ahead.
Him something. Give him
What
something.
you got, Ron? What you got?
No. Keep going.
I said what I had to say. He in my top 5.
You got more.
I mean, give me the rest of your 5.
Give me the rest of your 5.
That'll make me think about this. All right. So yeah, I said I got Brady,
Montana.
Montana, right? And Mahomes is in there. And then this is
Mahomes. And there's Mahomes 3.
Is Mahomes number 3 or he in there?
He in there. I haven't put much thought to where I got him ranked. He in there. Peyton's in there for me. And then I would have to look at it's either Elway or Marino.
All right, so he just passed Marino probably with stats and touchdowns. So bump Marino out.
All right, then. So I said,
I mean, your 5 is.
Let's say 4. So I say I can put him 4 or 5. 4 or third. 4 or third for me. He's somewhere in there for me.
Nah, place him though. Don't tell me if and ands. Where is he in your 5? Is he third yet? Or come on, let's be honest. Is he third?
I'll go ahead and put him third for myself. I'll put him third.
I'm not going to debate you with that, but Ron got something to say.
Go ahead, Ron. Who you got?
That turquoise, Ron, is really bringing out your eyes.
Not bringing out your eyes.
He number 5, man.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Your 5, please.
I got.
I'm not going to debate this though, but I know you about to.
I'm gonna be 100 about this. You ready? I have Joe Montana first. I have Tom number 2. I have Peyton Manning number 3.
What you say his name was at first? Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning. I got Peyton Manning. I got Peyton Manning number 3. I got John Elway number 4. And I got Patrick Mahomes number 5. And can I explain why I got Joe Montana number 1?
Go ahead.
All right. So despite him being 4 for 4, he was also 4 for 4 dominant in all those Super Bowls also.
He had a couple comebacks.
Yeah, but it's not one of those things where you keep on questioning about whether or not who won the ball game or not for them truly. Because I've seen plenty of games with Tom where the defense done their thing, but we keep on giving the credit to Tom.
Now you clarify it like that and you say it like that, and I agree.
Okay.
There's some Super Bowls where Tom was carried.
Now, the reason why I have Mahomes number 5 is because first and foremost, you were in an era of football where it's basically pitch and catch. It's like it's just open for everybody. You know what I mean? Back in the day with wide receivers, you can even cross the middle of the field. Now, a lot of these guys get free reigns, get free touch. So that's 1. 2, you arguably probably have hooked up with the second best offensive coach of all time, probably behind Bill Walsh. Andy Reid has had plenty of success. Andy Reid is holding back the dude Eric Bieniemy, whatever that dude's name is, Eric from a job.
Bieniemy.
You know what I mean? So if you look at Andy Reid's track record, he did what, 4 straight NFC championships. He basically revived Alex Smith after we thought he was done with the 49ers.
No, Harbaugh revived Alex Smith. But go on.
But I'm saying because Colin took the job. So a lot of times when someone takes the job, you think that person's done. But okay, but you know more than I do. But from my standpoint, you mean you lose your job, it's like it's very hard to get it back. You mean so it's like Andy Reid said, I got you. Now you come over here and everything, and you hooked up with a genius. I was listening to Darius Slay. He was like, that offense is a scheme beater. Whatever he said, whatever those plays, he said those plays are meant to beat your scheme.
I mean, this dude has been doing this before Kyle, right? So like, people sit there and say Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive brains.
Right. And for one of my viewers who say who's going to write in my comments, I said this about Peyton Manning. Wherever Peyton Manning went, he was the coordinator. You can't name too many quarterbacks who have been on teams where 3 of the receivers were in double digits for touchdowns.
Marlon, what's your top 5?
Top 5. I mean, right now, so I just want to lead by saying I don't like putting people into the top until they finish their career. Because I don't. This young guy, he is out here just creating his own accolades. You know, from being highest paid quarterback to setting the standard for quarterbacks getting their money to, just like I said, being a perennial winner. He has setbacks to come back even from every time he loses a game, like he come back even stronger. So I can't really fault him for anything he's doing right now. You know, he's doing his thing. He has one of the best 1-2 punches when it comes to Kelsey, and he exploits that to the fullest. Will he be in my top 5 at the end of his career? More than likely at this pace. Like, he does seem undeniable.
So he's not in your top 5. So who's the first 5 quarterbacks that come to your mind?
The first 5?
Yeah, who the 5 that come to your mind?
Okay. I'm going off favorites. I'm not going off stats and everything like that. But I'm gonna go
Unbiased
Montana. Yeah. Unbiased. Oh, my bad.
Sorry. Just a reminder. Reminder.
Reminder. My bad. All right.
Because I give you one.
Montana, Peyton, Brady, Breeze, and did you just shake something?
He about to throw his phone.
I like Mr. 5,000.
That man be ready.
I like Mr. 5,000. I don't care. Like I said, his comeback story to me is something you can't write in books. So,
Ron, to your point, you feel like you didn't want to put Mahomes above 4, obviously, because you felt like you kind of mentioned his era of sports. But if we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about eras, that's a lot of variables that play into who you put 1 through 5 and all of that.
Talk to me.
So if you want to use variables for keeping them at 5, like I understand where you're coming from. Hold on, because it says how much you value what's going on. But to both you and Marlon, eras is eras, but what the hell he's doing in his era,
undeniable.
I get that the job was harder for this position versus this position at certain times, and we can sit there and say you did this and that, and that's why I battle with these eras of who's greater at number 1 through number 5, because I believe Joe and Tom are 1A and 1B. It's hard to say one is 1 or 2. They're both in 2 different eras. If you want to sit here and knock, I'm obviously going to try to knock Tom down a little bit more before I knock Joe. Obviously, there's some asterisks on Tom when you sit there and say about his defenses carried him majority of the time. He's one of the top 5 defense majority of the time. And his kicker has definitely won him a lot of them games. Yeah, and when you throw the asterisks in there, the Deflategate, I don't even know how many gates there is out there, but I mean,
Tuck rule,
all the different things. You Spygate, that's what it was. There's some asterisks, and there ain't no asterisks behind Joe. I also think Joe in his era was great. Tom in his era was great. So I don't really like to battle that. When it comes to like, we put Peyton up there. It's hard for me to just throw him over Marino based on he had Super Bowls, because when he won the Super Bowls, I feel like his team was fully loaded. He didn't win when he was going against Tom. He didn't win when he was going against Drew Brees in San Diego 3-4. He didn't win when he was going against Pittsburgh and Ben Roethlisberger in the 3-4. He won when they was all struggling. He had a loaded team. So he got those rings like the end of his career, kind of like bandwagon rings to me. So his rings have different value to me. And then when we sit in here and say value of passing, can we equate that because rule change? I mean, obviously people start throwing 1,000 yards more. So Drew Brees gets to jump up there with those guys, but Drew Brees to me never goes in my top 5 because too many losing seasons when he was starting. That's why it's hard for me to put him at top 5. Is he a beast? Yes. He's in my top 10? Probably yes. The top 5, I would say, I'm not going to argue 1 or 2, but Brady Montana, Elway, I would say Pat Mahomes, and then I would say Peyton.
Can I debate you? Can I debate you? Can I debate you? Can I debate you? Can I debate you?
Go ahead. You can debate.
So you got
regardless. I know
what's your reasoning of having Mahomes over Peyton Manning?
I haven't seen Pat choke yet. I seen Pat in his first 5 years.
Oh my God!
So first 5 years, you wanted to start. So I had to make you. I want to make you stretch early, make you get it out the way. You get that? I know your lats tight. You know you be lifting. You okay? Get it out the way. There you go. There's necessities. So the reason why I put Pat over Peyton, I think that I'm seeing Pat first 4 years as he's in the conference championship every year, basically almost. 2 Super Bowls within his first 4 or 5. Prime time, him winning, this is him, he doesn't have 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers beside him. The team ain't fully loaded. The defense ain't loaded. So it got stuck again?
Yeah.
Yeah, at a perfect time. Yes. Did you get it? So, I mean, y'all didn't even think this dude was going to be a great team this year without his number 1 weapon.
Nobody was calling for them to win the Super Bowl.
He's winning without a top 5 defense. When the last time you saw me, you gave me a quarterback that was winning without a top 5 defense?
Again, that's
and
why
you barely even knew who his running back was and changed on a couple of times this season. He's been winning with one dude who's like 36.
How about this because we're boys?
Go ahead.
Let's make them 4A, 4B, and we could split into 5. Because here's one thing you're right about in the sense of choking, but there's one thing you forgot in my argument. My argument I also plugged in was Andy Reid and how much success he brings to a quarterback and making his life easier. Peyton was the coordinator.
Not my. What the fuck that got to do with me? Because who listens and who don't listen to who listen. Like seriously, listen.
I'm just saying.
I mean, but everybody that wins got a good
for your
quarterback.
point, I'm gonna use your point against you. When you just
Good
use
coach,
that,
man.
we in the chat every day, and you say don't do this, and you just did it. So if you want to talk about you ranking somebody based over coaching, then LeBron should be over Mike Jordan and
No.
You just use coaching. It's so all I'm saying is, isn't he usually the one who says don't use?
But that's what.
Consistent.
But I don't think that's an argument though, because any of these guys that won had good coaching. None of these guys won with bad coaching.
But time out.
Still gotta play the game, regardless of the coaching. Time
out though. Was Tony Dungy known for offense or defense?
We ain't talking about what he known for. We talking about he's a good coach.
Answer the question. Is Tony Dungy known?
Your point was good coach, bad coach. Is
That's
Tony Dungy not a good coach?
No, I said he hooked up with
let him go. Let him go. I see a rope coming. Let him go.
I said he hooked up with an offensive coordinator. Is Tony Dungy an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator?
Defensive coordinator, Ron. I'm going to answer your questions. Let's go. We're going to answer them. Come on, let's go.
Go ahead.
all that be said, it's the same thing with Bill Belichick. Because I had to give that up with Bill Belichick because people keep on saying like, oh, Tom was under the system with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick was there for defense.
Okay.
So Tom.
No. Stop right there. To your point, so far, you're talking about 2 defensive-minded coaches who were like defensive coordinators who became coaches. who got championships, right?
Yeah.
And usually the defensive minded coach with a good quarterback usually wins, right? This is a little right.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
So hold on, let me finish though, because again, we're moving some things around, but this is one thing we need to stay on in the sense of, I give you what you're saying about him and choking. I can't take that away, right? I give it to what you're saying about him being dominant in this era. He's been very dominant in this era. I can attest to that, right? Now, the one thing we do need to talk about, and you brought up that you brought in Queen James, is this: basketball is more of an individualized thing versus football, where everything is about strategy. The man has hooked up with the second best offensive coach of all time. He's still great, but you hooked up with the second best offensive coordinator of all time, who's made everybody look good.
You're right, but that man ain't win nothing till he got there.
That's very true. I mean, you need
that man has gotten far with many of conference championships that haven't won games, and we sat here and gave him the same tag that we giving Shanahan. Until you win it, you're just a great offensive mind.
He looking like Mike D'Antoni in the NFL.
But at the same time, though, look at how time has changed. Also, not just at the quarterback position, but from the tight end perspective.
Let me ask you a question. If this man wins next year, another Super Bowl, is the argument still going to be the coach?
No.
If he has another MVP season, is it going to be the coach?
No.
So why is it the coach now?
What do you mean? Why is the coach now?
Why is it the coach the reason now that he's not above Peyton? Aren't they that they have 2 Super Bowls, right? Let me ask you a question before I say something wrong. How many Super Bowls Peyton had?
2.
He has 2. Pat Mahomes got that like in 5 years?
Yeah, but hold on, do what you do. Hold on. With less talent than Peyton. That's very true, but hold on, do what you do, right? Take Peyton Manning's first 5-6 years. Who did he have?
Adrian James.
And in what era? That's a whole different era.
Marshall Faulk or Adrian James first?
Marshall Faulk first.
Faulk was
Marshall
first.
Faulk first.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm with you. I'm gonna rock with you.
But a whole different era, and you had a defensive-minded coach, and you didn't really even have a defense.
But you had the best offensive-minded quarterback. You just say he was like the genius of all quarterbacks.
But that kind of falls down to what Marlon's saying about, in a sense of like careers being over. When I believe Mahomes' career is over, we won't be having this discussion. He'll be over Peyton Manning. But I'm looking at Peyton Manning's longevity as what he has done and what he has brought to the game, because he's no different from other people like John Elway. John Elway got his stuff on the back end.
He wasn't as loaded as Peyton, but yes, he did.
Right, not as loaded as Peyton, right?
But let me ask you a question. How many Super Bowls did John went to? He went to a lot of Super Bowls. He just didn't win a lot of those.
Still, he got
Didn't he go to 3 or was it 4?
I think it's
like
3.
4 or 5.
Did he lose
4?
Oh, total
Super Bowls.
Who was the other team he lost to? The Bills?
He lost to the Niners. He lost to the Niners, the Redskins.
Okay, yes, he's 2 out of 4. And he repeated. And guess what? Y'all still my boys, as long as A-Rod's not in this top 5. I don't know about Breeze, but A-Rod can't be in it. All right.
I like what he did. From a torn shoulder to come back and still throw 5,000 yards, that's hard to do.
I mean, he a soldier. It's just that, I mean, you talk about
being like a 5'9" quarterback.
You talk about
I mean, is Drew Brees really better than Dan Marino?
Yeah. To be undersized for a quarterback with a torn shoulder, then bounce back and still throw 5,000 yards in multiple seasons.
Javon, we only got 5 minutes. Get to that next topic.
And a Super Bowl ring. We're Marino Super Bowl ring.
You might have to say that for another time.
See, Javon, you see? Hold on.
I just threw that in there for spice.
Javon, you see? Hold on. And you gonna come at me like that? Pull your cap up, Blue. Look at this shit.
I threw that in for the spice because I ain't kidding with you. I ain't gonna lie.
Did you hear that shit, Javon?
All right, so it's cool. It's cool. For real, since we doing all of that, you might as well have Roethlisberger and a whole bunch of other dudes because we just got rings. Terry Bradshaw need to be in here since we talking rings.
Nah, like I said, I threw it in for spice.
Because what's the difference between Terry Bradshaw and Brady? They both had great dominant defenses.
Hey, because
They
you
didn't change the rules for Bradshaw.
Because you know another person people sleep on who should be in this conversation too, Kurt Warner. Because I throw Kurt Warner over there over Drew Brees.
I mean, I think Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, the Steve Young, the Kurt Warners, you know, your oneers, the 1B guys, you know, they got one. You just got one. They're all stuck in that little barrel now. Because Pat Mahomes just stepped over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And regardless of the chips, 5 years, I put his first 5. If you want to talk general stats, get coaching, who's playing with who, first 5, first 5, Pat probably blowing them out the water.
He does, yeah.
I said, who else done it? What he done in 5 years?
And then you asking me first 5, who has 2 touchdowns in their first 5 years?
2 MVPs.
I don't know if Montana had that. I don't know if Brady had that. I don't know if Peyton had that.
No, he didn't.
None of them. I'm not sure if any of them had that in their first 5.
No, they didn't.
Matter of fact, they're paying go like 1 and some his first season.
I don't think he did that.
I mean, bro, if you're talking, I'm telling you right now, I think I don't gotta wait till this man's career is over. This man is over Peyton Manning. And if you want to wait till the career is over, we can have this conversation later, and then I'm just gonna double down on it and say I told you so.
Switch topics.
You pick it. What you want to talk about?
Pussy ass basketball. It's like no.
Oh man, my son works. Let's go.
I'll ask y'all a question. I'll ask y'all a question, fellas. You know, Javon is talking enough. I feel like that hat's gone too tight, because he be talking about me respecting errors, and he over here just don't give a fuck. like
what error did I disrespect?
So we're about to answer this question, right?
Mm-hmm.
With all the rule changes that's happening in basketball, is it very hard to adjust to the rules and along with how people view players?
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, that's why I looked to see who's going to jump out there first on this question.
Oh, now we just
So you mean like as far as like defense when they went from hand checking?
Okay, let me answer. Let me answer. Let me go
Just
first.
Tell us what you're talking about.
From carry rules to that.
Can I ask for an example?
Can I ask for a vowel?
Yes, vowel.
Vowel. Let me go first. You know, so with LeBron James, you know, scoring the all-time record and everything, everyone is just bringing back the GOAT conversation. So like as if like that is supposed to just jump Jordan. And with that being that and everything, he has also lead people to question whether or not he's really hurt or not, because that's something that has been in the news or not, because he's missing games. So as I look at the game, I think basketball is getting worse because I feel like from one standpoint, the competition, people really competing with each other is going downhill. I feel like people are going to the league for participation points, not really just to go win ball games and become the guy. They're okay with just being on the bench. And I feel like along with that, a lot of viewers are just very accepting to certain things. That's my answer.
So basically you're saying, how do we view the game today? How do we feel about the game today?
The question was about your thoughts about how other people view the game, because it's no different from like we go to the barbershop, right? And you got your old man cutting your head and everything. I've had old heads talk to me. They think the NBA is a disgrace versus what they used to watch and everything. They feel like this. They feel like it's a weak era.
I can now understand your question after you said it like that. And
yeah, I got you.
I think I was just watching something on YouTube the other day when it was a bunch of basketball players giving their opinion about the game right now. And
hey, Joe, scoop up a little bit, Joe. Scoop a little bit. Sorry.
I noticed it was a bunch of, I was watching the other day, some players, former players talking about their opinion on the game currently right now. And a lot of their opinions were very, I'm not going to say just negative. They just wasn't feeling the game right now. You know, the style of the game, I'm not going to sit here and just talk. They didn't really talk about rules, but they talk about the style from more of it changed from the inside out to now outside in. And it's a lot of 3 and D. There's no half court offense. There's no real offensive sets. It's kind of changed in a way where, you know, you talk about positionless basketball. And when we talk about positionless basketball, and we still sitting over here arguing, like you say, we're talking about LeBron now because he's now won the scoring, he's the leading scoring, all-time leading scoring leader. And now that brings a debate if he's like the number 1 scorer, or he's top 5 scorer all times. But I mean, in this positionless basketball, it's just different to sit here and debate people in different areas that play different positions. I think basketball is weak. I think all sports are weak. I think that it's not weak just because of the people. I think that rule changes have changed to benefit the offense. I think that it's very hard to play defense. Why do I want to play defense? I might get fined. Why do I want to play defense when I can barely even do it because I can't tough the dude? I mean, it's creating flag football, and it's creating very soft basketball, which is creating softer players, which is creating what you see.
Organized pickup.
Nah, organized pickup ain't soft. It's organized.
That's the organized pickup. Organized pickup, 2 different things. Somebody is organized pickup with jerseys, but you can swap out jerseys each week.
Hey,
with all these trades.
Right now, organized pickup is probably a little tougher, Mark. You know it is.
It's
gonna be tougher. Like NBA don't get tough, or NBA don't turn the organized pickup into the playoffs.
I think that what you stated,
yeah.
I think a lot of people feel that way about overall the league being weak right now in the way they view it. Not just how they play, but like you said, just how the players are off the field. I mean, look at load management right now. You had guys trying to play the entire season back in the day. Now they trying to play half the season, take much time as they can off to, especially if it's a team that's going to make the playoffs, be prepared to play in the playoffs. So the value of the regular season isn't the same. So I can agree with that. That I feel that a lot of people feel that way. One of the things I think for myself that stands out is we put all this emphasis on stats right now, and a player's ability, obviously, with longevity to, be the all-time scoring leader and other things of that nature. But very few people talk about the change of how fast these guys play now, and how, granted, to their credit, how efficient they are. Because now you putting up 120 plus points a game. That was an all-star game back in the day.
But is that efficiency, or is it just you're allowed to do more with more space?
Well, they say, I mean, again, for the stats say, if you look at the analytics, it says that these guys are hitting shots at a more efficient rate. So if that's true,
agree to you that yes, they are hitting shots at a more efficient rate. But why are they hitting shots? That there's a reason, there's a cause and a reaction. Why all of a sudden they're hitting shots at a more efficient rate?
So that's what I'm saying.
Being played.
They're right. Well, yeah. We know the defense isn't the same that way, because they made it almost impossible for you to play defense, like you spoke about earlier. But yes, the pace and the rate at which these guys play on a whole nother level than the 80s and obviously way before that. So again, you're taking more shots, you're going to hit more shots, you're going to score more points. So those types of stats for me just don't mean as much, because you guys are playing, you said, positionless basketball, and you're playing at a much faster rate. So stats like that, it's very different. You're not comparing apples and oranges at that point. I mean, you're not comparing apples to apples, you're comparing apples to oranges when you're talking about things like points and stuff like that. So that's the only thing that stands out to me, really, that's different outside of stuff we've already talked about, that I take away from today's era, and how I feel about the game.
But there's another thing I was thinking about too, because even some of these basketball players who are now analysts are falling victim to this shit. Where there's a stat that says that LeBron is more clutch than Kobe, and I'm like, so you would really pass the ball to LeBron at the end of the game for the final shot over Kobe?
LeBron would pass the ball to Kobe.
LeBron would pass the ball.
If they were on the same team, LeBron would pass the ball to Kobe. LeBron would pass the ball to Wade. LeBron would pass the ball to JR. LeBron would pass the ball to everybody else, but take the shot at the last moment. I'm just sorry, that's not LeBron. And why we keep comparing these two?
Yeah, because that's why I had to tell Yahoo Mo. I'm gonna start calling him Yahoo Mo. He stay on Yahoo.
Hey, that man ain't here to defend himself.
He could get the smoke later. You feel me? Because the boy, man. Come on now. Can Kevin Love shoot or not? I mean, I don't need to know about anything else. Can Kevin Love shoot?
Yes, Kevin Love can shoot.
Shit.
I think you're correct. I agree. The numbers are there. Things can be more efficient. I believe the same argument we have with both sports, football and basketball. Rule changes have changed a lot to benefit the offense. I still think that, there's fundamentals to the game that you need to win the game.
Doesn't change.
The fundamentals don't change, but when you change some of the rules to allow you to be fundamental on one side of the game, that's what's really changing the game. Like Ron said, you can't touch wide receivers, you can't touch basketball players, you can't even on offense, you can't be so physical with your body. I'm not excited about watching either sport at the moment like I used to be honest with you. I really haven't been into basketball for multiple reasons this season. I really haven't watched any basketball games fully. I watch a lot of highlights the next day, check out the highlights, but just sit down and actually watching a basketball game. I really never watch basketball at this time of the season. I watch it normally about start watching it around this time of the season because this is when it's about to start getting a little bit better. Right after All-Star break, everybody's playing for a purpose. Everybody's playing to get into the dance. Once they get in, that's when basketball really is more important for me. Like March Madness, I really don't care about college basketball until March Madness. That's when it's the most important part.
And you know what's even crazier too? They made a play-in tournament. So these dudes who are taking games off, they're like, we good. We could get into the play-in tournament.
You got over half the league is gonna make the playoffs. That shit's crazy.
And I'm looking at the Lakers and I'm keeping people talk about they 5 games back, they could possibly get the play-in. You act like the other teams above them ain't still trying to play and play. Don't give me listen, it's been a great show. I love y'all very much. I gotta go. You know what I mean? You mean my piece
pieced out on y'all.
I gotta
Did you get irritated at your own comments, your own statements?
You made himself mad.
You irritated me, goddammit. I don't want to hear nothing about no errors from you for some time. Leave me a week.
I give you a whole week with that tail jacket, or I give you 2 weeks.
He over here talking about flag football. You're the guy is playing in flag football right now and getting rings.
He's still great in his era, bro. So Tom Brady was playing in the flag football era too.
Yeah, but I already went on him. Don't be like Yahoo.
Don't be like Yahoo. No, you gave him 2.
Who I give him to? I didn't give him 2.
So hold on. Didn't Peyton Manning play in the flag era too?
A little bit of both.
When was somebody touching Marvin Harrison all the way through the game? I mean, I think that.
Did you not see Ty Law choke him?
Listen, you playing.
They were still targeting his era.
Yeah,
and
they
was
still targeting the market.
Targeting. But I'm talking about 5 yards.
Maybe Reggie. You can say about Reggie's era because Reggie started in a tougher era and then he transitioned to the more space, 5-yard bump and run.
And plus, let's keep this in mind too, right? But since people want to do the whole individual thing, if I wanted to entertain that conversation, because I was going to be prepared for anyone who want to talk about A-Rod. Who has A-Rod beat to go to the Super Bowl? Oh, that's right. He only been to 1 Super Bowl. This man's out here losing to Jimmy G.
He lost to every 49ers quarterback.
So you mean I've seen Peyton lose to Tom.
I've seen Peyton lose to everybody.
I've seen Peyton beat Tom to go where he need to go.
I've seen Peyton lose to everybody.
Say what?
You know how he felt about Peyton. This is unbiased.
Peyton lose to everybody. Lose.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell.